Postconventional action logics.
Individualist. This first post-conventional action logic occurs in just 10% of the researched population and is characterized by the recognition that all action logics are a construction or map of the world, and not the world itself. Thus, relativism rules any particular logic or perspective. This action logic is aware of the current moment, of self and others as actors, and thus objectivity as largely a myth. Individualists are willing to think and act outside the box and thus can find themselves in conflict with the organization's values. It is natural for the individualist to discover that he no longer fits within the organization, as he tends to ignore its rules if he cannot adapt them or invent new ones. He is comfortable voicing differences and inquiring about the same of others as a manifestation of his increasing comfort with complexity and paradox and his seeking wider range of relationships. Strategist. At just 4% of the researched population, strategists' main focus of awareness is the interplay between visions, strategies, actions and actual outcomes, or the four territories of experience. Torbert, 2004. The strategist is increasingly able to deal with complexity and paradox and looks to partner with all other stages. He can see the organizational constraints and their impacts and is particularly adept at aligning agreement with action, and creating shared visions across action logics. His perspective is that the most valuable principles rule relativism and so can be focused on convincing others that his perspective is the best one. Because strategists are more effective at dealing with conflict and resistance to change than earlier stages, they are highly effective change agents. Indeed, Torbert and others state that leaders at this action logic are necessary in order to create sustainable transformation within an organization. Strategists enjoy the interplay across personal relationships, organizational relations, and global opportunities. Alchemist. Also referred to as magicians, this action logic occurs in just 1% of the research sample. This action logic generates society-wide transformations. Few leaders, or adults anywhere, are identified at this level. Alchemists are capable of renewing or reinventing themselves and their organizations as they are extraordinarily gifted with understanding the deep processes at play and can simultaneously attend to them across a range of situations. They see these deep processes and the potential generativity within a system as ruling principles. Alchemists can spark transformation in others with their gift of insight, playfulness and the way in which they bring themselves into relationship. They may appear as charismatic, and are able of capturing key moments in an organization and then using metaphors and symbols to engage people's hearts and minds. Examples of alchemists may likely include Václav Havel, Nelson Mandela, and Eleanor Roosevelt. In summary, the LDP is situated in the constructivist developmental field that holds that human beings actively make sense of their experience by creating maps of reality that change with development. Development can be seen as a spiral in which the same basic human issues are revisited at each successive action logic, that is, anxiety, freedom, identity, and love. Such issues are seen anew with changes in consciousness. Persons at later stages of development have an increased capacity to take in more complexity, cognitively, affectively, and interpersonally, and can understand earlier ones because they have gone through them. People at earlier stages cannot understand the later ones, and whatever they glimpse of them, they will simplify to fit their own mental model. The LDP offers insight into how a leader reasons, what values he holds dear, what coping strategies are most comfortable, and where he places responsibility. Action logics do not describe a person's ability or competence. Imagine an achiever who fails to deliver skillfulness, picture the alchemist with dismal interpersonal skills, or personal levels of energy, commitment, or health.